Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22. So recently I've been watching the MotoGP Valencia test. Of course, a couple of riders getting chances to use their brand new machines, and of course Fabio Quartararo was trying out some aerodynamic packages for the Yamaha YZR-M1. And it really inspired me, and every single year this happens when riders get to try out the new bikes and you get to see the riders testing out different parts and packages in the Valencia test. It always gets me really pumped for the next season, and it's such a killer because you get it hyped, you get to see what's happening, you get to see new riders and new teams, new faces, new colours, and then it ends for 2 months or 3 months, then we don't get to see anything. So it inspired me to jump on a carbon liveried bike and just go for a couple of laps around Valencia. I want to try and do as good a few laps, maybe let's say aim for 10 laps just around this circuit with Yamaha's Fabio Quartararo and just have fun. And that's what I'm doing today. So we're using Fabio Quartararo, using the test livery for the Yamaha M1. And unfortunately we can't use any new packages, so we can't use the little Stegosaurus wings at the back of the bike, or we can't use the new aerodynamics at the front, but what we can do is just try and pretend and use a bit of you know, imagination, let's say, to try and pretend that these bikes are being tested in a different way. And apparently I've never actually done a time trial here in Valencia, so also not a bad decision to have a little try and see how we get on. Now recently I've been playing a lot of Superbike 22, as you know, so I'm not really fully confident and up to speed with MotoGP 22 like I once was. So I'm actually going to be doing some lap times here, going to try and improve, but I think majority of my riding will look a little bit unfamiliar, let's say, because I'm so used to the controls with Superbike 22 and how the bikes feel, trying out different electronic settings in MotoGP 22 to try and replicate that feeling. I found that dropping the TCS was a good thing. I did find there was still wheeling quite a lot, so I may consider trying up to anti-wheelie 2. But for now, I don't feel particularly bad. I just feel a little bit slow. I find there's a couple of corners where I'm not pushing as much as I can be, and then some I'm going a little bit deep on the brakes, I'm wheeling a little bit too often. So I do need to get the feeling back, and I think a good testing session like this here in Valencia with Fabio on probably my favourite bike within the MotoGP circuit, MotoGP manufacturers. I do find the Yamaha is the best bike to use within MotoGP 22, so I should imagine the feeling will start brewing again, using the ride height device, getting used to upshifting, because bear in mind when I was playing MotoGP 22 I was still actually using semi-automatic gears. That is now a thing of the past, and we are literally full manual settings all the way through. So going into the Jorge Martinez Aspar corner, getting it right somewhat, and then using a bit of ride height device just to keep the bike from wheeling, and squatting the bike down obviously helps out quite a lot. Something you don't get in Superbike 22, of course, so a lot of that is just smooth throttle control and pushing forwards on the analog stick to make sure the bike doesn't want to lift up any higher than normal. Now, quick mention of the Valencia test so far. From what I've seen, very, very interesting. The two VR46 boys, the Mooney Ducatis, of course, looking pretty good out there, but of course they are not testing anything new. They've still got pretty much their standard bikes, so they're already well up to speed and already feeling very confident with their bikes. Now, regarding Yamaha's side, we might as well discuss this. Fabio a little bit disappointed that there's really nothing else extra for the Yamaha. They were looking for the speed that they found in Misano. Apparently they've not got it. There's nothing there. There's a lack of top-end speed on the Yamaha, which is something that Fabio, Franco, Darren Binder, Cal Crutchlow, Dovizioso has all been complaining about all season long. And I think even a man of Fabio's talent cannot afford to be losing so much in some of those latter stages. We really was evident how tough that was on the Yamaha towards the end of the season. Midway through from Assen onwards, you've really seen the difficulties for the Yamaha, and they have to fix that. This has been happening since 2016, 2017. Riders complaining that they needed more power to maximise the Yamaha's potential. Now bear in mind, yes, amazing when it comes to corners, brilliant, but when they get rides in front of them, they can't do the same corners, they can't take those same lines, they begin to struggle. It's not good enough for them, wasn't good enough for Maverick, Wasn't good enough for Lorenzo, and it wasn't good enough for Rossi either, and he's still stuck with the same problems going into 2023. They really need to sort that out. And another rider who also isn't very impressed is Marc Marquez. I didn't anticipate this. I actually thought Honda was going to come out with something pretty good, since they're going to acquire, well, now they have acquired Joan Mir, the 2020 World Champion, and Valencian Grand Prix winner Alex Rins winner, in another sense of brilliant potential, brilliant amount of firepower. They still haven't produced anything particularly impressive for the Honda boys, and that's concerning. For the first test for Marquez to be saying, not happy, this is not a championship contending bike, they need to dig down deep, and really deep, to make sure they can find something, because if not, I very much doubt that Marquez will be staying after 2024. I believe that's when his contract runs out. I don't know if we're going to see it that long. Maybe there'll be a fallout in the mix, or maybe they'll sort things out, who knows. But I am a little bit concerned for the likes of Joan Mir and Alex Rins, because the Suzuki is a different bike completely to the Honda. You've got possibly one of the most fairest and most easiest to handle and most welcoming bike, compared to a bike that pretty much recently everyone has hated. No one has enjoyed riding the Honda. No one's enjoyed that sense of feeling, or, well, the lack of feeling, let's say. And that puts me into another topic with Alex Marquez going to the Gresini Ducati. Bear in mind that this Ducati is not the same spec as the likes of the factory boys, such as Pecco Bagnaia and now Enea Bastianini, but that Ducati has already left him with a massive smile on his face. Alex Marquez usually has a rather large smile, but not in the Honda. And now, since coming to Ducati, the smile is back, the white teeth are showing, he's a chuffed man. And I guess all it takes is one bite from an Italian manufacturer to put a smile on your face. So I think I'll bear that in mind for the future. If I'm ever feeling a bit low, get on the phone to the Italian boys and see what they can do. But speaking as well of the Italian manufacturers, Aprilia's Miguel Oliveira and Raul Fernandez testing out the Aprilias, the RSGPs, for the first time. Miguel Oliveira up into the top 9 into his first couple of sessions. I think he finished even higher by the end of the first session, or at least the winter test, or Valencia test, let's say. Pretty impressive stuff. I don't think anyone doubted the ability of Miguel Oliveira, and I don't think anyone doubts the potential of the Aprilia RSGP. We've seen Aleix Espargaro win last season, be in contention for World Championship all the way up to Malaysia. It's a brilliant bike, and we could even be seeing more Aprilias in the future. Or we could be looking at a World Champion bike. Wouldn't that be something? No Italian manufacturers winning in the last 15 years. All of a sudden, we could get more. Who knows what will happen, and who knows who's going to be the man to get the job done on the Aprilia. I still think it would be Maverick Vinales, to be fair, but who knows what's going to happen with the addition of Miguel Oliveira and the fantastic Raul Fernandez. Now, of course, looking at the KTM side, a little bit interesting this time around. It's good to see Jack Miller quite happy on the KTM. I will confess, I was one of the first people to say that is a terrible move for Jack to go to KTM. I really don't think it'll work out well, but he seems relatively happy. No complaints, and felt like he was getting comfortable. He didn't really do a full-time attack session, but he was more so focusing on getting used to the bike, learning the RC16, and just getting to grips with the KTM. So I think he should be absolutely fine. I do hope he will be, but I don't think he'll be having the same success as he once did on the Ducati. However, during the Valencia race, or I believe in the practice sessions, Brad Binder called that new chassis on the KTM a championship fighting bike, which is crazy when you think about it. One change to the aerodynamics and the fairings, the chassis, and next thing you know, we have a championship contending bike. I'm not saying Brad Binder's optimistic. What I'm saying is it could be that small of a difference to get your bike into the championship fighting aspects. That's crazy. That's absolutely mad when you think about it. Fabio tried the Stegosaurus braking winglets, if you want to call them that, and he also found some potential and found some additional braking and stopping power within the corners. So something so small can make quite a large difference. Could very well be seeing a lot of that this season. Will the small, minute differences be the difference maker towards the end of the 2023 campaign? Who knows? I guess it's only surmising for now. But Augusto Fernandez and Pol Espargaro, I guess that's the last couple of people to discuss, which are new faces and new teams, or rather one new face and one new team. Great to see Pol Espargaro absolutely loving life once again. I don't think he could have waited to get off that Honda anymore. I mean, he got off the Honda quite a lot of times in 2022, but this time for good. Now he's on the Gas or KTM. Let's be honest, it's just a KTM RC16, but of course the Gas. Let's stay with the actual term of the motorcycle this time around. He is looking pretty solid. Not really where he should be yet. I do feel that Pol will improve towards the end of the season, but don't forget, Pol Espargaro was a podium contender in a lot of races in a couple of years ago when he was on the KTM. Maybe we'll see a reformed Pol Espargaro. He's had 2 confident battering seasons, but seems to be out of that now, and his woes should and hopefully have ended. Quite like Pol Espargaro, so I do hope he bounces back quite nicely. I did actually suspect him to do well on the Honda, but I guess the Honda's probably gone backwards, let's be honest. The first time we've not seen a Honda victory in, I don't even know how many years, but for a long time. That's definitely got to change, but I hope to see Pol Espargaro battling at the sharp end, but this time in Gas colours. And already, the Rookie of the Year, Augusto Fernandez. Now, of course, this is a rare situation that I don't think I've seen before. Maybe you guys can spread some light in the comment section down below, but only one rider competing for Rookie of the Year next season will result in Rookie of the Year pretty much straight away, would it not? I don't know how that's going to work, because I mean, there could be another rookie halfway through the season who could potentially gain points. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm guessing at a certain point during the season when it's mathematically not possible to anyone else to earn it, regardless if there's another rookie or not, we'll eventually give Augusto Fernandez Rookie of the Year. But that is a bit of a mockery, I do think. If it was only one rider competing, it's certainly not a prize, is it? I don't know how that's going to work. I'm very keen to see what the actual results will be. But if anyone knows any more information on how that will take place, then let me know in the comment section down below. But from what we've seen in the Valencia test so far, pretty much everything I really brought up, really interesting. I do very much enjoy these tests because it's a 3-4 hour session. Are you leaving your television on or iPad on or whatever it is that you've got running? Personally for myself, I had it on my secondary monitor while playing some of the games and doing some editing, and I kept quite a good eye on it, and I do enjoy those tests because you can see the differences from riders pushing in sessions, pushing when it comes to qualifying in race situations, and then how they react and respond differently when it comes to a test situation. I did very much enjoy it and noticed quite a few things along the way, so I'm very keen to see what's going to happen next season. Of course, the introduction of the sprint races for MotoGP. I know the media, the commentary team and everyone is pumping this up to be really something special, but the fans, the pundits, the journalists, not so much. I don't think we are going to benefit from these sprint races, but what I do think it's not going to diminish the product too much. My personal belief is it will diminish the excitement and the intensity that we see every single Sunday, and instead it'll be more of a, okay, half and half. You know, we're going to have a decent race on Saturday which should be enjoyable, but then sometimes on Sundays maybe some of that feeling will be back. I don't know how it's going to work. 40 races is a hell of a lot. Just keen to see how it's going to work, and personally for myself, I can't wait to see the season get started. We're only, in November now? We've got quite a lot of months to go. I'll get my video pass subscribed once again, and I guess we'll be ready to do another season. I may consider actually bringing back the MotoGP recap videos like I did a couple of years ago, or at least I started off with this year, but unfortunately I didn't think the views were really that particularly interested, so I decided to back out of it. But I did know there was a couple of you still wanting to get my opinions of the recent races, so let me know in the comment section down below what you think about that. Of course, be sure to subscribe as well so you can stay tuned to all of my content and everything else I may post. You can definitely check out the second channel as well if now that MotoGP season's ended, maybe you're going to be back to some of the games, doing videos on there as well, so keep an eye on that. But we are going to conclude our final lap here today, which will be our 10th lap, nice and close to the pit lane entrance there, but now bringing it across, we have improved to a 128.136. So guys, those are my 10 laps on screen. Unfortunately, we did invalidate 2 laps, but 10 laps, relatively consistent pace here in Valencia with the Yamaha M1. So guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you really enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.